رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي واجعل لي وزيرا من أهلي. Now just for a moment, imagine this. Imagine there is a book and it has several chapters. One of the chapters, as you can see on your screen, you have reached chapter number 25. Imagine you've reached chapter number 25. And this chapter number 25 starts off with the letters B, blah, blah, whatever it says. I've written blah, blah, blah. So the first letter is B, the next letter is L, right? These are the first two letters of this chapter. And suppose this chapter has 100 lines, 100 sentences, right? Let's say 100 lines. First line, second line, third line, fourth line. It has exactly 100 lines. Now I just want you to imagine this for 1 second. Imagine the writer wrote this chapter number 25 with 100 lines. Exactly how many? Let me write it down. It has 100 lines. And the first letter of this chapter, B, occurs in chapter number 25 exactly 25 times. And the second letter, which is the letter L here, occurs exactly 100 times. How possible is it for a writer to purposefully write down a chapter like this? How possible is it? Now let me show you something in the Qur'an. This is Qur'an chapter number 27, Surah An-Naml, chapter number 27. And let me show you, in fact, in the Qur'an, so that you believe me. Open any Qur'an, go to chapter number 27, right in front of you. I'll zoom in here for you. You can see chapter number 27 here. An-Naml, and how many verses does it have? I'll zoom in further so you can see. It has exactly 93 verses right in front of your eyes. 93 ayahs, meaning verses. Chapter 27 has 93 verses. Now let me go to this chapter. I've copy pasted this. I've picked it up from this website and I've copy pasted it here in Arabic. And in Arabic you see the two letters this chapter starts with. Ta and Sin, which in Arabic English could roughly translate as T and S. Of course, in Arabic it's not T and S. In Arabic it's Ta, this one, first one, this one only, and the Sin is this one, which can be roughly translated as S, T and S. Now this T or Ta, this one, is the first one, right? And this is chapter number 27. I will go to I'll press Control F and find exactly how many times has this letter occurred in this chapter 27. I'll copy it, I'll paste it in this file, I'll zoom in for you, and I will paste it here. Lo and behold, exactly 27 times in front of your eyes you can see. The first letter occurs in chapter 27 exactly 27 times. That's the first thing. The second letter, Sin, you can see here, equivalent to English S if you want to say. I'll copy it and I will search. I told you it has how many? 93 verses. 93 verses. I will paste it over here. And lo and behold, you can see the second letter occurs exactly 93 times in chapter 27. Chapter 27 starts off with the two letters Ta, Sin, T, S, you can say in English. And the first letter T, Ta, occurs exactly 27 times, which is the chapter number. And the second letter, Sin, starts off, is the second letter of this chapter, occurs exactly 93 times, which is the number of verses. Subhanallah. Now I ask you the question. Forget all the miracles of the Quran, of course, all the linguistic, scientific, numerical, all of them come together to make the Quran miraculous. But I don't think there is a book on this planet has ever been. There has never been a book like this on this planet, which humans have written. There is no book, there can be no book in which this miracle alone occurs. In which you write a chapter, this chapter occurs in a specific order in the book. That order is the number of times the first letter occurs in that chapter, and that number of sentences, or in this case the number of verses or number of sentences, is the number of times the second letter occurs. So how possible? And this chapter, by the way, if you read this chapter, the translation, see, even the first, by the way, the beauty is these two letters are separately occurring in this chapter. It's not like they're forming a specific word. No, it's ta-seen. You're just pronouncing them ts. They're not forming any word. They're not part of any word, right? It's weird that this chapter guides humanity, shows them the right path, motivates them. No useless information in this chapter. Is it even possible? Is this even humanly possible to just come up with this single miracle of the Quran? Forget the rest of the miracles that the Quran contains. Is this single miracle even possible? These are the verses of the Quran. Look, all the occurrences occur. There is nothing useless. There are no baseless claims made. Everything has a meaning. You can read the entire chapter. Subhanallah. How possible is it for a human being to write such a chapter? It is impossible to imagine such a mind-blowing, literally this is a mind-blowing thing. How can one write a chapter bringing in two of the letters separately? By the way, they're not forming any word. Ta-seen, there's just ts and the chapter starts. They have no meaning, and yet these are two. And the question I will ask you now is, imagine a man sitting in a desert 1400 years ago. No computers, no calculators, no nothing, and he comes up with this chapter. Is it possible at that time? Today you might say, okay, we have computers, we can maybe play around with numbers and etc. Still you won't be able to come up with something meaningful. But that time, 1400 years ago, was it possible without any calculators, computers, nothing? There was nothing over there. Is it possible? It's impossible. Not even in the realm of possibility. It's an impossibility to come up with such a chapter. And so, just imagine. And he writes ta-seen. And by the way, there are other chapters in the Quran. If I show you, they start off, for example, if I went to Surah Al-Qasas, this chapter, the very next chapter, it has ta-seen mim, ts and an m extra. How did he know not to add that extra m here? And he added this extra m in the next chapter. How? He knew very well that he was gonna. The writer of the book knew if I added an M there's no M here. It's only ta-seen, the first two letters. Subhanallah, it's amazing, man. It's just beyond imagination if one thinks about somebody writing such a chapter 1400 years ago, 14 centuries ago. For me, it's just mind blowing. I cannot imagine even today somebody with all these computers and technology writing such a chapter with meaning, with purpose, guiding humanity. Impossible. So with that, as always, I've shown you the miracle. It's in front of you. It's all up to you. The choice is ours. You want to believe, you can believe. فَمَنْ شَاءَ فَلْيُؤْمِنْ وَمَنْ شَاءَ فَلْيَكْفُرْ. Whoever wants to believe, he can believe. Whoever wants to disbelieve, he can disbelieve. So may God give us complete conviction in the Quran as the word of God. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdik. Ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk.